Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today I'm doing a video flip through. I have finally finished these journals. I think I started them last summer, or maybe in the spring. I don't even remember. I'd have to go back and look at the original videos. So if you want to ask me how long it takes these to do 16 journals, a long time. And I'll give you my thoughts on that at the end here. So in the 16 journals, when I showed you in the other videos when I started working on them, I used several different digital kits from different sellers. And one in particular, a favorite of mine, is, of course, Caroline Jensen's kit, Caroline's Craft Tree, and I will show you that one after. And then another lady that's a favorite is the Dutch lady. And she is on, all of these are on Creative Fabrica. The kits are all available on Creative Fabrica. Now, I used 4 kits. One was called a Green Witch, and one is kind of a forest garden. But I did interchange things a little bit, and I did pull, from a few other kits and from things that I had on hand to change it up a little bit. So there's 4 different styles. There's one it's called a Green Witch, but I really didn't use any green witches, although there were some. And then, so I used the Green Witch kit, and then I used Caroline Jensen's Woodland's Fairies kit, which I love, love, love. And yes, Caroline is my friend, but you'll see as we go along that her kits are exceptional. And then the other one is kind of it was kind of a green floral garden, but I kind of changed it into a green floral goddess kind of things, because I added some pictures of women and girls. And then the last one was the Dutch lady, and that was Woodland's Animals. Now, 3 of them have already been spoken for. 2 of the Woodlands are gone. One Woodlands is gone, and one of the Witch is gone. And a second Woodlands is mine, because I just happened to be putting all the last minute details in it, and I noticed that half the pages were upside down. Hopefully none of the other kits are like that. So I'm going to use it for myself, but I will probably just cut the pages and redo it. But there is a little bit of a process, so I decided I'll just keep it for myself instead of waiting to get it done. So there are only 2 Woodlands available, and there are only 3 of the witch kits available, like Forest Witch, and then the other ones, there's still 4 of each. So they are all basically the same. The actual finished size is approximately 8.5 inches tall. It is about 5 inches wide, so 8.5 tall, 5 inches wide. And it is, almost about 1.5 inches thick right now. There's not a lot inside of it. They were all created because I had this houndstooth ribbon, which, if you saw the earlier videos, it was an 8-inch wide ribbon that had brown fabric on the other side of it. So I was able to make it into like a pocket where I slid heavy cardboard inside and sewed it up. And the idea was I wanted to get to use up a whole roll of this ribbon. I had 3 rolls, and conveniently, Jen from Jennifer Dirtle, she loves houndstooth, so she got a roll. And Deb casually mentioned that she likes houndstooth too, so she got the other roll. So I am done with houndstooth. And so now that I know Jennifer is so in love with it, anything that I come across that has the houndstooth pattern, I give to her. Houndstooth is one of those geometric patterns that I can't handle as a whole, but that is why I buried it a little bit into these journals so that I could handle it. So each journal, because it was houndstooth, it's like, well, it's a really hard color to work with, like this chocolatey brown with the beige. And so then I started adding some burlap and then the green, and just made it a little bit more neutral going. And then, things started to come in together in itself. And This green tulle is a ruffle that I made from a huge evening dress, like probably a grad gown that had multiple layers of tulle and sparkle tulle and this was it this one? Yeah, this lace as an overlay on it. I do have a short video where I show myself with a pair of scissors going to cut up the dress. And so I had mountains and mountains of this green fabric, and then of course mountains of this tulle and the lace, and so that is what got incorporated into here. So all of the journals are one signature, and they have a pocket on the outside here in the burlap on both sides. And then they have the smaller pocket in the front here that is made with this sort of a belly band of ribbon. And so it's a double pocket. I don't have anything on in this pocket, but all of the ephemera is with each packet, and I'm going to show you those as well. So then I decorated, after the signatures were stitched in, I decorated with the ribbon band and then the lace trims so that you really don't see the signature itself. It is stitched right in and then hidden underneath all the decorating. After I put the ruffle on, some of them I think actually all of them got this fiber, which is a braided crochet fiber, and has the tassel bits hanging at the bottom here. And then I had this lovely green tassel fringe, and it's just beautiful on the bottom of this. So that got added into there. And then I have this brown braid trim on the top and the bottom on all of them. And that is, again, just complementary to the colors and to take a little bit more away from the houndstooth background for me as I'm working on them. And then I used seam binding, a ribbon tie that is tied right into the, built right into the journal cover. So that's the whole cover for you. Now, each one of these has a mushroom, sort of an ATC size card. Every single one has one in the front and one in the back. And that is from, I did have a video where I showed you I made a window pocket. And this is the cutout from cutting out the window. And then the windows are inside here as part of the pockets that are inside the journal. So they all have that mushroom motif as well within the journal. So then when you open it up, it is one signature and tied in the center with the standard pamphlet stitch, 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and then each one has charms dangling from the leftover threads, which I will show to you. The pages are, the generic pages are the same in all of them. And then each one has several digital prints that, coincide with what the journal is, and the prints that I went with in creating these, and then they match the ephemera that goes with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move these over, and I'm going to start with this one here, even though I've untied this one. So this is the forest witch, not a green witch, forest witch. So I will just show you on the inside, each page, well, on the inside cover, each one has one of these burlap pockets. I don't know if you remember, but I had picked these up a while ago, and they were tall pockets, and they were used for weddings, or for a wedding for cutlery. Although these were never used, you could see that they were never used. So each one has a pocket in the front, and what I cut off, I used to make a pocket on the back. So here's one of those window, bit of glue there, one of those window pockets that I've made. So this is the cutout, and so I made sure that each one of these got the rightful cutout. As you can see, that's what came in the center of here. Now I thought of putting it in here, but this is a big pocket. So then you'd be fishing down there to get this ATC card, which you can write on. It is a little journaling card. So something else can go in this pocket instead. So all of them, of course, come with one of these cutouts. And so on this side, I have a second window envelope. So that is the matching one. And yes, I had to make sure I kept track of every little piece because when you're doing 16 journals, you have to be totally aware of where that piece is. So this fits in there perfectly and is the puzzle piece to it, as you would say. And so again, this could have something put in it that is fun and related to the journal, of course. I do have a video showing how I made these, so if you check in the tutorials, you will find it. So each one has the burlap pocket in the front and the back, so I won't go through that each time. And in the pocket, or close to, if not in the pocket, each journal has a bookmark. So this is a full-size bookmark. Some of them have shorter ones, and a tassel on the end that is attached. And the tassel just hangs outside on the outside here. So as you're using the bookmark, if you're using it, you can move it around and have the tassel hanging out on the outside. Each journal comes with my artist information, so I will show you this the one time. And you just open this up. It's got a little secret folded method there to open it. And that tells you all about the journal and how I come about making my journals. I'm not going to go into detail with that. So that once I show you this time, then I don't have to show it to you again in each one. Oop. Now I do want to get this in there. And they do fit snugly, but they are in there pretty good. On the back side here is another little folded paper. And this, again, I tried to make them complementary to the journals. And this is a copy of words that I try to live by myself, words that I love. It's a poem called Desiderata from it was found in the church. I don't know if I believe that, but from 1692, but that was the information on this one. So I always include a copy of Desiderata in any of my journals that I send out. And it's just good words to live by. And that fits nicely into that pocket. So on the inside is, again, pages that are more related to the Green Witch. So I will just move through and show you the pages. This is kind of a generic scrapbook paper. Some of the pages are decorated with this pom-pom trim and some bling or some fibers. Handmade paper. This is more of the style of this Forest Witch. And I've on a lot of these papers, I also printed on the back side so it wasn't stark white. And an assortment of pockets as you go along. Pockets and tucks is what I really worked with. I didn't do belly bands on the inside because I have the belly band on the outside. And I really want I like my journals to be more for a person to write in and use. I like it to be functional. So you won't see the ephemera in here. All the ephemera is in these little packages, and I will show you each one as we go along. So another generic scrapbook paper. This is the part of the witch paper, so it's kind of a moon in here. So you see it's not like creepy witch. I don't want to do that kind of stuff, in this style. Yes, I do have on occasion done gothic and creepy journals, but that's a different time. not for this set. So then I have some ledger paper. You'll find that in all of these. I have this, it's like a sand dollar. It's like I don't know, like a beach scene paper. I have this paper a lot, so I put it in a lot of the journals. Here I did do some stenciling with inks, and I did kind of the tree of life in all of them, or leaves, one or the other. And again, some of the same paper that is from the Forest Journal. This has a little corner tuck spot. I really should have something that I can show you. Well, let's just use a toilet paper holder. I'm doing something with these. So yeah, so you can fit something up in there. This is unicorn parchment paper. I have a book on this, different papers, and I love this. So you could write in here, and then it's nice and clean on the other side to write. Another scrapbook paper, another paper from the Forest Witch, some music sheet, more paper from the Forest Witch. This has a tuck spot, but because the paper is so neutral, I didn't bother to glue this down because I thought maybe you want to write something there, you know, like a secret, and then have it sit down like that, where you could just pin a journaling card or something onto it. This one has a little tuck spot here, blank on that side, feather, 2 tuck spots here. Now we're in the center of the journals. For the Forest Witch journal, I'm doing a unicorn charm, and I'm torn if that's a bee or a moth, but either way, 2 charms on the inside that dangle. If you don't like them, if you find them annoying while you're using your journal, you can always cut them out and pin them on the outside, but I just stuck them on there for now. And then 2 little tuck spots there. The other side of that forest paper. Each journal, each one of these has different papers in them. Some of them, for the Forest Witch, some of them have owls. There might be a cauldron. There might be a lantern. But all pretty generic, nothing too creepy out there. You know, they're all good witches. They're all good little witches. Some more of that paper, and again, I didn't glue these down. You can, if you want to make it a tuck spot where you tuck something under and glue it in, but I just thought it was just neutral enough to write on to not waste the paper that way. The other side of the music sheet. Here's the other side of that paper, and love this color. Another tuck spot. They all have, if the paper, because the journals are only 5 inches wide complete, I had lots of leftover edges, so I use these to make tuck spots. This way, you know, if you're writing in your journal, you can add more additional papers like coffee stain paper or whatever type of paper you have that you want to use. The other half of that parchment unicorn paper, so again, a nice writing spot in there, but lots you can write in there as well. Another tuck spot, and so here this one has a goblet. This is the other half of the stenciled paper with a tree in it. Ledger paper. This one has a black cat. So this is where you saw the moon on the other side here, wherever it was. This one, yeah. So that is the cat on this side. Scrapbook paper, and I printed on the back side of these. And then this one has the moons, the handmade paper, and the other pocket there. So the ephemera that goes with this, I'll just get that out of the way. A lot of it is, there's a lot of handmade pieces. This envelope is a handmade envelope that I'm giving you with all your goodies inside, and I'll just take them out. And I will show you the goodies in each one as we go along, but I won't go as to far detail as what I've gone so far. So everybody got, everyone got a New Brunswick postcard because I have a lot of them and it matched the colors. And I thought you could fold this in half and make like a little journaling tuck spot, or you can use it for another project, or you can further decorate it. I gave everybody 2 glassine envelopes. So these are all things that you can tuck them into your journal or tuck them in on the inside or in a pocket. But that's your decision. So each one has some of these little labels, which includes, I think this one's Northwest Territories, Newfoundland, and New Brunswick. Sorry, I didn't have all the provinces, but I just had some, and I thought the colors were complementary and very foresty looking and flowers. So I added those. I added some labels and some tickets in green and some green stamps from the Netherlands. Some of them are vintage stamps. Another glassine envelope that has, now these are generic in all of them. This one has some little fussy cut butterflies that you can cut out to add onto the pages of your journal. a little label that this one has a mushroom on it. And then there are some mushroom stickers in here. There's, I think, four stickers of mushrooms. So every journal got these. So I won't go through this each time. You'll see the envelopes and I will just show you what they are. Each journal got a butterfly, a large size butterfly. Isn't that a pretty complimentary piece? And this can be written on, folded in half, tucked in a pocket, tucked in a side tuck. Each journal got a little book plate. You know, this book belongs to, but it doesn't say that. And this one has a little gnome on it. I hope you can see that. Hope I'm in camera here. A Hobbit card. It's just a playing card that is the little Hobbit houses. Recently got those when I was thrifting. And then, excuse me, the journal cards are all backed with either brown paper or coffee stain paper. I've stitched them. I've added some embellishments and flowers, different things to further enhance them. This one has some medicine bottles and just complimentary items. This one is just plain. I thought also you may want to consider decorating this envelope if you're going to use it for something. Or you can fold this envelope in half and again tuck it into your journal to have papers and things in it, or opened up completely. But it's just a way to hold all the extras that I'm giving you. And I didn't bother to make it fit in here because otherwise I'd never get all of this stuff in it. So it's separate, and you would either use it for something else or something folded up in your journal. This one has the, I don't know what this is called. Somebody knows. Is it a pentagram? Something like that. Star. A cat to complement. There's an owl. Each pack is different but equally nice. There's different images. And here's another one with the goblet. And some little, I was going to put these as tabs on all of the pages, like a couple here or there. But I decided against it because I thought, no, it'll take me forever to do all 16 journals. This is just a little cluster piece. And another little mushroom cluster piece. To add all this stuff into the journals, and then it would just bulk it out. And it's not fair to the person who is going to write in it, because that is the first and foremost thing that I want people to use my journals. I don't want them to just sit on a shelf full of stuff. So that is why all the ephemera is on the side, and this way you can decide how you want to decorate it yourself, and what you want to add in. Maybe you want to use this in another journal. Maybe you just want to have them to play with for something else. It's up to you to decide. So I'm just going to tuck all this back in. And I had the witch, but I'll just put this one because it was handy on the outside here. So that's that one. So I'll just put it aside there. Now this is the kit from Caroline. And her kit is called Woodland's Fairies. And it's a beautiful kit. And I will tell you that I did print several sets of the digital pages, not several sets, a couple sets, because there's so much. Her kit has a ton of stuff, and I only had to print the ephemera that she has with the kits. And when I say ephemera, she's got tags and journaling cards and ATCs and tickets and the little envelope things. There was so much. I only had to print it once for all 4 journals, because there's a lot of stuff, and I could have printed it all for everything, but I would never finish these journals, and you would never be able to tuck it all into this little journal. These journals, by the way, I don't think I've said, have 15 different pages, and then when folded in half, and then if you count both sides, 15 times 4 is 60 writing sides. So again, same mushroom image thing. So when you look at it, it does fit in here perfectly. So it's just a little fun thing to show you. Same journaling information. This one has a bookmark that is mushrooms. This is out of her kit. She has a set of 4 bookmarks, so it was convenient to put one in each journal. They all have the same tassels. And then I don't know why there's a paper clip there. This one has a little tuck spot here. This is handmade paper, but different. Woodland Fairies love this paper, and you'll see some other fun papers. Scrapbook paper, another one of her papers, and here the tuck spot has the fairy in the corner. So I had to look at each page differently as to how I would fold it to fit in the journal. This one is generic. Then now here I've stamped the leaves on the page instead of the tree. And then there's this little fairy sitting on a tree. Love this little guy. And then this is the unicorn paper, but it's on this side instead of on the outside as it was last time. And this has a little tuck spot. And again, I leave them open because you may want to write in them. Scrapbook paper, another of Caroline's papers. And they are lightly printed on the other side, just again so that they don't have the white edge, but light enough to write on. Music sheet, another one of her papers with the little deer on it. Ledger, another plain paper with a pocket. And this is Caroline's paper. Now this has got the writing lines right in it. And when you see on this side, it's got a beautiful fairy here and the mushrooms. And in the Fairy Woodlands Journal, this one has a little fairy with the moon. I hope you can see this. And then it also has the unicorn. I think they all have unicorns. I think I did it that way. And then another fairy, the other side of the paper here. And again, just beautiful, beautiful fairies. You know, I don't do this for journals, but if I had this journal for myself, I would love to go with, some glitter and glitter up this little girl and add more layers and dimension. So if ever you're playing, it's a fun way to play and further enhance the pages. Another plain paper with a pocket, ledger paper. This one has a little squirrel in the corner. This is Caroline's paper, music sheet, Caroline's paper. This is a folded page that has these little squares also for writing or pictures, just to give you little spot elements to work with. Scrapbook paper with a tuck spot. And this is the other half of the unicorn paper. And this has got a tiny, tiny little tuck spot here. So you could put a little bookmark or a ticket and use it for writing space, whatever. Another tuck spot here made with this little fairy in the corner. And then this was the forest scene. So I had to, because the papers are one fold and this is a smaller book, I could have cut them and restitched them or used it to my advantage, because this just is such a cute little element here in the corner for this page, and then a place to tuck stuff in. So again, very easy to tuck these little items into your journal. Wait till you see all the little goodies in here. Another pocket, and then stenciling there. This is printed paper, and then some more of Caroline's paper. Scrapbook paper. A lot of times I take scrapbook paper and I print over it on both sides just to give it a more distressed look. So fun paper to work with that way. Love this one. This is that Woodlands Fairy again, and love these elements on the top and the bottom. Caroline, this was a fun paper to work with. I really enjoyed it. Handmade paper. This is where I put that window pocket instead of on the last page here. And I don't know what I was marking down here, but maybe it was to remind me to put these things in. I can't remember. And so that's that one. And there's the tassel sticking out from the bookmark. And just to give you an idea of the items that are in this envelope, again, I won't pull them all out because you've seen the postcard, you've seen the glassine envelopes full of goodies. Here's one of her tags. This one has a fox. Every kit is different, or every journal is different. There's a butterfly. She has some journal card, postcard type things that I've decorated a little bit. These things don't need to be decorated. I just do some messy stitching around it to hold the paper on the back. This just gives it a little bit of substance and weight to your card. And then I just decorate with the same items that I've used on the journal. And this one got a little bit of color. It's got a little squirrel sticking out there. And this is a little ticket. She had the tickets in rows of, I think some of them were attached 2 and 3. I cut them all individually. And then they all got paper backed and inked. And I added, each one has one of these little leaf charms because she just had so many beautiful pieces to play with. And so when I was sitting here dividing them up, so even this little ticket has a leaf charm. It took me a while to add them all because she had a lot of these tickets. They are spread out throughout the 4 journals. And then here's that one that was up in the tree. Love that. And then some mushrooms. And like I said, all these little ones have the charm, the leaf charm attached to them. And then this little sweet little fairy here. So these could be tucked into those little tiny corners, or that little tuck corner that I was showing you. And the Hobbit card and the book plate are all in here as well. And then this one decorated with mushrooms. So that's the Woodland Fairy journals. And like I said, even though I'm showing you this one, they are all different because Caroline had so much ephemera, I didn't have to use the same one twice, ever, on anything. There was just that much. So if you are a journal maker and you want a really fun journal kit, Woodland's journal kit, then you do definitely want to check out Caroline's coffee or her Creative Fabrica page and purchase one there from her. So there's that one. And then this is the one that I'm calling, kind of a garden goddess, flower goddess type journal. And again, they're all different because the ephemera, there's just so much that no 2 are the same. There's just so much to go by. And this one has a smaller journal card or bookmark. Again, with the tassel on it. These are all laminated cards. And because it was smaller, it was able to tuck right in the front here. And then this, of course, is the window match to the one that's inside. And the same with the one on that side is the window match to the one inside, the pocket inside. All decorated a little bit differently on the outside with the lace. It depended on how the lace flowed and what I felt I needed for each one. So same pocket. So now you don't have the bookmark on the inside, it's on the outside. Same window. This one, and I only did a couple of them because it was too much work. I hand beaded all the way down here. This is all hand beaded little seed beads. Probably never happening again. So if you get one with these in it, I'm never doing this again. Some handmade paper. Here's where, like I said, it's kind of a florally design. There's this beautiful flowers in here. Pocket. Page with a pocket. Another page. The colors on this are very deep, very vibrant, very mossy looking. Paper. Another page here from that set, and then this has the stencil. Unicorn paper. Love that paper. What a great little book I found that had this paper in it. And each one again is different. Some of them are printed on both sides, some are not. Another tuck spot, That paper again, beautiful. Another little tuck spot. Music paper. Another one of these pages. Ledger paper. Am I on the other side yet? No. This brown paper with a pocket. And you may not be able to see them from there, but there is a good full-size pocket in here. And then more of that paper. And again, because the paper was wide enough, I was able to utilize these edges instead of cutting them off. I was able to utilize them into making tuck spots for you, which is great. You can use all kinds of note paper and coffee stain paper and scrap papers to tuck in here to fit in your journal. Unicorn, because they all come with a unicorn, and because this was flowers, they all come with this flower charm in there. I hope you can see that one. I'll bring it a little closer for you to see. Slide it around. And then the other half goes on to, there's the other half of that paper. So you can see the colors in this are a little bit more jade and green, I guess like hunter green. Brown paper, ledger. Another one of these pages. This one has more gold in it, which is kind of fitting. I did put a little bit of gold, just a little glitter here and there. Not a lot. And each one, again, will be different. So there's that unicorn paper here, but it is more plain on this side. And then the tree stenciling. Each one, it'll either have a tree or a leaf. More of that paper, design paper, handmade paper, hand beaded, one of a kind. I'm not sure. I think there's maybe 3 sets that have this. I'm not 100%. So like I said, if you get a journal, if you purchase one and you get a journal with this, there's not very many that have that. So the ephemera that goes with this, now there was the bookmarks, because I wanted to have some imagery of women and girls in here. I added that. This was one of the images and just decorated with some embellishments. Okay, the envelope, and then it has another one of those little tab things. This can also be used to decorate the envelope. You don't have to, you could put it on the top flap of the envelope and then just keep this for something else. So you can see just gluing this down at a halfway point would be a fun decoration to add on to this journal. And you could use something like this as an add-on and further decorate the envelope. But I leave that up to you. And I'll show you another thing that looks cute. So here's one of the cards, and I've just added some handmade paper flowers and some lace on this one. Flowers again. Here's this pretty little thing. Now, not all of them, but some of the journal cards, I left this little flap attached. And that's so that if you wanted to attach it to a page, you could just glue that little flap down and turn it into a flip in your journal so that you can write on the journal page and then close this back down again. So again, that is up to the owner of the journal to make that decision. But if you see this flap in there, that's what it's for. But you can also use it as a means to just pin it onto something so that it's, like with a paper clip so that it's just tucked in. This one has a really pretty little velvet applique up on top here because I just thought it went nicely with the flower. Some of these are dimensional, but it depends on if you're going to use them all in your journal or not. Some of them I put a lot of decorating, some of them just a little bit. And there's the butterfly. So there again, if you don't want to use this inside your journal, you could use it to decorate the outside of this envelope. This is also a fun piece that can be used to glue down to the flap, and then this would be what gives a little bit of weight to have your envelope closed. So another option for that. The book plate, the goodies, the small ephemera inside there, and all the rest. So that's that one. I hope this is not too boring to show you, but And like I said, every single journal, the ephemera is different, completely different. It may be similar, but not exactly the same. Ooh, what did I do here? Oh, here it is. The last one is the Woodlands Animals, and this is by the Dutch lady, and she is on Creative Fabrica. I will try to remember to put the link to her kit if I remember. Caroline's link is always on my YouTube channel. Any of my videos, Caroline's link is there, which will lead you to her page, which will lead you to her coffee and her Creative Fabrica any time of the day, and her website as well. So this particular image was not. Am I in frame here? Yeah, was not part of the kit. I added this one in as an extra because she didn't have any people. So I wanted everyone to have like either a fairy or a goddess or a witch or a princess or something. So everybody got some kind of women images. So same mushroom on the outside. This one has the bookmark on the inside. It's about mid-size regular style bookmark. Each one is different. There's owls, deer, butterflies, rabbits. Each one is different. Same window. This one has bling down the center, which is much easier to do than beading. I learned that pretty quick. And then handmade paper. And now she's got a wolf in here. Tuck spot there. Scrapbook paper. Here's an owl. And another tuck spot. And that generic paper that I have. And pocket, stenciling, bunny. Love this bunny. So cute. Tuck spot. Shorter paper here. This is I believe this is the parchment paper, unicorn paper on the other side. Love this. This is scrapbook paper, and I distressed over top of it. So anytime if you're ever using scrapbook paper, you can run it through your printer with something else, like, print over top of it, and it changes the look and makes it far more interesting for me than what it was when it was originally scrapbook paper. But now I love this page. A little hedgehog, isn't he adorable? Tuck spot, some music paper, a fox, tuck spot, ledger paper, brown paper with a pocket, another tuck spot. This is the center, and every once in a while I turn the page around and put the picture as the center instead of on the other side of it, so that you could get the full view of the picture, and it depended on, each one is different. So this one has the unicorn and the moth/bee. I'm not sure what it is, but you guys can decide. But I thought it was fitting for this journal. And another tuck spot, another pocket on here, ledger paper. So you can see there's lots of room to write, which is the whole idea for me. The fox, music paper, the hedgehog, scrapbook paper, and here is the unicorn paper, and there is a unicorn there up at the top. And some kind of sea creature. And there's the deer with the butterfly on him. I think that's the same as well, it's a little bit different, but pretty. There we go. Stenciling on this side, and there's another owl, scrapbook paper, bear. So a good assortment. And this handmade paper has a pocket on this side, which has got this beautiful rough edge on it. I love that. And then the end has the window pocket. So the ephemera that goes in here is, well, you get the fairy, because like I said, I wanted to give everyone something that had a woman or a fairy or a goddess or something on it. She does have another kit that I've since found that has women, so I may in the future use that. Some mushrooms, a little cluster. So this could be, you could use this on a page as a tuck spot, by just gluing down two sides and using it as a tuck. It could be to decorate the front of this pocket. Actually, it fits nicely, so you can make a second little pocket in there. So these can be used and glued in as you like. And another little tab type item, another little tab. Here is a hedgehog stitched onto coffee stained paper, a fox, an owl. Love this forest scene. Love the colors in here. Just beautiful. And then two more of these little tags. One is made with a bunny and one is a butterfly. Each kit will be different, but you will get two tags like this. Just smaller little, kind of like a bookmark tag, but bookmark or tag. Butterfly. So you see the colors are all complementary. Another one of these, and that. So I will tuck all this back in. So these are the journals. Now, like I said, one of these is already spoken for. And one of them I'm keeping because I put half the pages in upside down. Unless you want a book of mine that has half the pages upside down, if there are none left. Tuck that in. And tuck the rest of this in. And this. And so then of the Forest Witch, I have 3 left. And then Caroline's, I have 4. And the Garden Goddess I have, or Garden Forest, I have 4 of those as well. So the journal is only available to purchase in Canada. And I have a price that includes the journal, and the ephemera pack, of course, comes with it. And that includes your shipping, and it is $75. So I'm not going to post them on Coffee for a couple of days, only because I would really prefer to sell them through Messenger and not pay commissions. Because, by the time I take the shipping off, take the commissions off, and that's what's left over for my work, the more I can keep for myself, the better. I do accept PayPal payments, but I will charge you extra to cover my shipping costs for PayPal. So they may go up on Coffee and at a higher price than $75, just to cover all my commissions. That's an option as well. In which case they'll probably sell for about $80. But I would prefer to sell them to you individually through Messenger. Like if you contact me on Facebook and let me know if you are interested in one, then it would be $75. Now this fits in the smallest postage box. I don't have one handy. Actually, I'm just going to stop the video and go get one. Just hang on a second. And I'm back. So this is the Canada Post box, the smallest box. So this is what I would use to ship your package in. And so you can see that the journal fits in there just nicely. Of course, it'll be wrapped really pretty, and I will wrap it in some nice tissue that you can reuse. I'll turn it this way so that I know it fits in here. So there is the journal. And then the package of ephemera fits in here too. But you see, there is a lot of space in here. So if you purchase directly from me by Messenger, and ideally e-transfer, PayPal, it would be $5 extra. $75 plus $5 to cover my PayPal expenses and commissions, or $75 e-transfer, so $80 or $75. But if you purchase directly from me that way, I will send you an invoice through PayPal, or I will send you my information for e-transfer. I will fill this box with other stuff. So, for example, I will only give you one choice, but you would have a choice. I can add in a combination of handmade ephemera as well as ephemera, sort of like an ephemera package. I could give you laces and trims. I could give you beaded things and music papers. I could give you, you tell me what it is that you would like to add to your journal, and it will ship in this box free of charge. So if you like fibers and you say, oh, Kim, I would love to have all kinds of fibers, I will stuff this box so there is no available space left, because I'm all about value and I have lots of extra stuff, so I don't mind doing that. I will fill it with, pieces of fabric. If you say, Kim, I would really love to have an assortment of fabrics in shades of ocean blue, or I would love to have scrapbook papers and pretty papers to play with in shades of orange. Whatever it is that you like, I will fill this box to the fullest. If you want greeting cards, if you want some postcards to play with, those kinds of, if you want vintage ephemera, like the real authentic vintage ephemera, I will go through some of my ephemera and stuff that in there. So I'm trying to give you the most value, as well as, this is the way to take advantage of the shipping. If you like napkins, I have hordes of napkins, every kind of napkin you can think of. So I will, again, fill the empty void space with something so that you are not paying for air. Okay. You are only paying $75 for the journal with the ephemera, and you get everything else is bonus. And same with, if you're using PayPal, you're paying $80 for the journal and the ephemera, and everything else is bonus. But that is shipped, and all shipping and everything else included. So let me know if you are interested. It'll be first come, first serve. So there are only 2 Woodlands, unless you want the upside down one, which you can let me know. And there are only 3 of the Forest Witch, and then there's 4 of the Fairy journals, and 4 of the Garden Goddess journals. Thank you so much for watching. I would also like to take the time to wish you Happy New Year, because by the time you're watching it, this should be New Year's Eve or the day before New Year's Eve, one of the two. So Happy New Year 2026. Let's start the new year off right, and let's have a clean slate, and hopefully it'll be a much better year than 2025. I think no matter who we are, I think this year was a struggle all around. So let's start the new year off right. So Happy New Year to all of you. I look forward to seeing you in the new year. I will be back on track probably about the middle of January. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you so much. Bye for now.